So human resources, if the module is turned on, is a good way to get better productivity out of your plants, to reduce your costs, and as well there's also some points tied in to both the balance scorecard and the analyst reports as to how you're doing on your staffing. As you look up here, you can see the training or the recruiting spent as well as the training. Remember that the $5,000 here is actually just $5,000. It's not the $5 million like if you were to go up to the marketing sheet. If you were to put 5,000 here, that would actually be a 5 million. But on our staffing sheet, that's just $5,000. So you're going to take that number. It's actually 6,000 because there's an automatic 1,000 that's not counted in. But if you're to take that and add that into the new employees that you have, that's going to be your recruiting cost here. The more money that you spend on recruiting, again, the better employees you get. You can find the details here. Training, again, makes your employees better, increases productivity, but it also increases your complement or the number of workers that you need to be in your factory at any one time. It's also expensive. It costs $20 per hour per employee for the year. So if you're to take 80 hours times by 20, times that by the how many people you have working in your factory. I currently have it at 501. I need to change that down because the most I'd need for this year is 390, and times that by 390, that's going to be my training costs. And those all attribute to my total costs. The productivity index is basically how much better you're doing now than you were in round one. And you are awarded points in the balance scorecard for having a better productivity index. Another one that you want to watch is your turnover rate, the 6.8, 6.7, because again, you will lose points if that is too high. And in the balance scorecard, you actually do gain points if that's lower. The analyst report is where you lose points if that goes up too high. So the complement here, most of the time this sheet, the human resources, is going to be on your production sheet, but in this one it's on a different one. Here you can see that 501 has a red strike through it, meaning that that's not a viable number. So I need to change that down to 390. The nice thing about 390 of having 100% complement is my overtime is very low, and my employees like that. And so they stick around, and so my turnover rate begins to drop down, and you'll notice that the productivity index is still high. The disadvantage, though, is there are some financials that are based off of your profitability and some other Thought I'd bring this sheet up. The net profit over the complement as well as the total sales dollars over the complement, both worth 50 points each for the analyst reports. So if you drop your complement, that is again going to make this ratio a little bit better, and it's going to make it possibly easier for you to get inside of here. As well as if you drop your complement, your net profit, that ratio, your profit per employee, is going to be better. So that's another advantage of when you go through and you do your sensitivity analysis of, well, am I going to be getting my full 50 points if I just add another 10 employees or take away another 10 employees? So that's an advantage of, again, writing things out. But as you put that in here, then you can see that, yes, for me, I'm in a situation where I can keep a full complement and I don't have to worry about my profitability. You can see where if I were to go in and I were to change this complement and say I only wanted 250 workers, my workers are now working more overtime. If you work them too hard, after too long they will strike against you. And you can see that my number here, instead of being at 117, it's dropped down to 107, as well as my turnover rate going from 6.7 now to 12.3. So my employees are really not happy having to work so much overtime. So for me in this situation, I think I'll stick with the 390, but there are warranted occasions where you may want to consider dropping that.